What would you do if a higher power or alien race came to you at the lowest point of your life, where everyone has betrayed you? You are in what seems to be the deepest portions of hell. There is no redemption, and everyone who's wronged you is basically eating on your grave. What would you do if an alien race or a higher power came to you and then promised not only redemption, but even maybe judgment on those who've wronged you, but said that to get that, they would have to conquer the entire world? Would you accept? Would you invite them in? It's that very question that kicks off the series The Three Body Problem in both the book and the Netflix show. And while the show does take on higher ideas and problems that are extremely challenging with astrophysics and multidimensional theories, which are all extremely interesting, I feel that the main nuance of the show, the main problem, the main issue that it asks its audience to consider is the questions that Ye Wenjie has to live with. Should she answer a call from an alien race, knowing that it will result in the total conquest of her world? By replying back to the signal that China sent out into space and that she had magnified through her own genius, even when warned by a traitor within that race not to answer back, she has ensured Earth's fate. However, Ye Wenjie feels that humanity can no longer save itself. And why would she think this? Why would she betray her own race, her own species? Well, the first couple of episodes goes out of its way to show not only the hellish existence that she has lived under China's Cultural Revolution, but also being consistently betrayed by lovers and colleagues at every turn. And though she does seem to finally find some sort of comfort in the arms of billionaire Mike Evans and her daughter Vera, she has already become so embittered by that point that she has no faith whatsoever that humanity itself can redeem itself or perhaps even improve things in their lives to make the world a better place. Humanity needs to be conquered in order to survive. That's how she feels. And after the betrayal and fall of her cult in Panama, along with the death of her former lover, Mike Evans, and with her daughter already deceased from suicide, Ye Wenjie is interrogated by the scientist Jen Chang. When asked why she betrayed the planet, she replies only that she saw the failings of humanity and just lost faith in them, trusting that the Santi, the aliens, were going to save them and lead them to a better future than any humanity could ever hope for, much less bring about on its own. However, Jen angrily rebukes her by saying that she keeps saying I, but who gave her the right to make such a judgment on the entire species, to condemn the entire planet Earth to alien invasion? Unfortunately for Ye Wenjie, she later finds out, along with the rest of the world, that the would-be saviors that she had placed her faith in actually think of humanity as bugs already. So essentially that she has been betrayed once more, and this time by her gods, if you will. So this turn of events leaves us, the viewers, with this question of, was Ye Wenjie's response to the aliens the correct decision? Was it right to sell out the human race? Or was she justified in doing so? And what would we as individuals do if we were in her place? The question I posed to you at the beginning of the video. Well, like I said before, the show does go out of its way to show where Ye Wenjie is coming from. That leads up to her fateful decision that morning when she responds back to the aliens. It's impossible to not sympathize or maybe even empathize with her on some level, I feel. She's literally lost everything and been betrayed by pretty much everyone up to that point. My only surprise, to be honest, was that she didn't try jumping off that edge sooner than episode 8. Yet, at the same time, it wasn't the human race in its totality that's betrayed her. Yes, it's been everyone in front of her, and her whole nation for that matter, but there were others in the world who had nothing to do with her life experience. Why must they suffer for what others did to her? That's the place of judgment that Jen is coming from. And yet, equally though, there's also no empathy from Jen either for Ye Wenjie's situation. Jen hasn't been in that place where she's been betrayed by everyone and everything. She hasn't lost her entire family and watched them die brutally. Now, granted, Ye Wenjie is hardly the first person to experience such traumatic events. However, she is the first person to experience those events and then have the power to immediately do something about it. How would we react if we had shit lives and suddenly God showed up with the promise of either total judgment or redemption at the push of a button? And to be fair to Ye Wenjie, she doesn't make this choice lightly either. Yes, she's bitter. Yes, she is angry, and she has every right to be. But after the warning from the one particular alien that made contact with her, she does hesitate for one moment, a good while before making that final choice, knowing what it will entail. But she still makes it, becoming the species' judge and jury. Many people lash out at others when they're in a bad mood because of what someone else did to them or what someone else said. It's the whole kick the dog scenario.
Arthur's boss's boss screams at Arthur's boss. Arthur's boss screams at Arthur. Arthur screams at you. You go home and scream at Lily. Lily screams at one of the kids in her kindergarten class. Then that kid screams at her dad, Arthur's boss's boss.
Only, in Ye Wenjie's case, that dog is the entire human race. And also, let's be honest here. If we look at the real world, much less the fictional world of Three Body Problem, is she really wrong? Several of the main characters, despite being fully aware of the coming invasion in 400 years' time, don't even care and want nothing to do with it. They're not going to be around, so what does it matter? The fact that it's going to be other people who are going to have to deal with that generations from now doesn't even enter their equation. Or, if it does, it's so brief that it's dismissed very quickly because it doesn't match up with that particular person's own experience or concerns. And you have other people with power who are making decisions and judgments on other people of their own race already, such as Wade's decision to destroy the ship Judgment Day, killing the entire crew and their families on board that ship. If we look at this, can we really fault Ye Wenjie's lack of faith in humanity? Can we really say that, well, it was only a few people who did this, when in the entire world there are other people making that same decision, and making a decision on varying degrees, on both the micro and macro level, on both the level of their individual lives and the lives of government rule? So, with that in mind, again, I leave you with the question. If a race or a higher power came to you at the lowest point of your life, with no way out, and promised you redemption or judgment on those that wronged you, but would only come via conquest, would you answer?